Well, so see me, look like a ninja. But in the meantime, we all have to make sure that we keep all these masks on and regularly. It's always important for all of us to get to know what needs to be done, right? So if you're putting on the mask, you need to put them on if you have an interaction. And also regularly wash your hands under running water with soap, of course. And then use a sanitizer if you don't have an opportunity to do so. Tomorrow is the start of a national 3-day prayer and fasting, and it's by the Christian Council of Ghana. I have the chair of the Christian Council of Ghana here, and he also happens to be the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church. The Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo is here. How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Great.
And you?
Yeah, Charlie, we're managing. It's not easy. Putting on masks, and sometimes you can't breathe well, sure, but you just have to get used to it.
That's true.
But I know that the church has had a lot of roles to play in this. Our Muslim brothers and sisters just are starting the Ramadan today. I know that religion has become very integral in trying to complement the efforts of states.
Sure.
So far, how has it been for you as a minister for the Methodist Church and also you, the Christian groupings?
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. For the Christian body in Ghana, it has been from the days of the colonial times where the church and the state has been in partnership. And you can see this in all spheres of life when it comes to education, when it comes to health, when it comes to social interventions and all that. The church has been there. The church has been involved in the politics of Ghana. The church has been there when we are in crisis, when we are in good times. The church is always available. And especially in this time of the COVID-19, the church embraced the partnership and has deepened the partnership between government and the church, in the sense that one, we are following the protocols, the social distancing, the hand washing, sanitizing, and all that. We are following it to the letter. Apart from that, we have also been involved in donations to government and to our institutions. Nuguchi, the church was there to make presentation as to what they needed to facilitate their work. The hospitals, the Minister of Health is always full of praise for the churches in Ghana because of the support we have given in terms of equipments, PPEs, and all that. The Presbyterians are there, the Catholics, and some of these things are not even quantified, in the sense that our people are living in a state of fear, and it is the church that has been the source of hope for the people, bringing back hope, bringing back the faith in God. And so the church is seen in a holistic manner, helping in all aspects.
If you take a look at all these complementary roles that you play, how then do you fuse in the related issues of education? Because we just had the lockdown, we've just had the lockdown lifted. Indeed, we're just about 4 days into the lifting of the lockdown. But imperative is the need to make sure that all of us adhere to protocols.
That's it.
And if you look in town, it looks like many of us in these endemic areas or cities are not doing that. How do you play that complementary role?
Our role, it's in the education of our congregants, the congregations, because now we don't meet in the church. The churches are also closed, but we meet our people through social media. We are streaming live to them, and it is out of this that we continue with the education, and we tell them, and it has been very, very consistent, that even though we are out of the partial lockdown, it does not negate the following of the protocols that are there. And all these protocols are for prevention. And as a church, we are particularly involved and concerned with prevention rather than the curative, because if you prevent it, then you will not waste money in curing or coming to the hospital to spend a lot of money. So particularly with the preventions, the church has always done the education. Yeah.
One thing that I have observed, which I think is absent, is the fact that the church has not made the scientific professionals or the health or medical professionals to be at the forefront within what the church is doing in the education process. Do you think it's something that you as Christian group, is not only the Christian Council of Ghana, is thinking about or need to undertake?
Yeah, in fact, you see, even when you talk about these scientists, talk about these secular institutions, they are all part of the church. You see, they are all part of the church in the sense that, one, they might be Christians, or they might be men and women of God, or they are Muslims, or they are all within us. And so coming out there into the public domain does not negate that we are not playing our part, because they come to us, we talk to them, and then we interact. And even sometimes they give us what we have to teach our congregations. So it's a very good synergy between us and them, because they are part of us. Yes.
One group of people who are really psychologically, I would say, vulnerable, are the leading health professionals, the doctors, the nurses, and even the allied professionals who work there, and we call them the frontliners. How do you reach them?
Yeah, when the lockdown issue came up, I think one of the denominations within the Christian Council said, just leave it with us. We will take up their lunch. That's a practical way. Those who are in the front line will take up their lunch during the period, and they have continued since. We reach out to them by that means. Then we are also reaching out to them with our prayer support. And every moment, every time that the church meets, we have never forgotten. We have never forgotten the frontliners, the security men, the doctors, then those in immigration and all that, because we believe that if these people are protected, then we can have a very strong workforce that can deal with this pandemic.
No, that's very credible. Right. The other aspect I know is that you as missionaries or missions, you play critical role in education. Now we know that all the schools are shut down. So have you reached out to the schools so that all the programming that they have, you're also embedded in what they're doing?
Because they are now home, we reach them through the live streaming that we do, at least with keeping up their faith and their religion. And then we also encourage them to follow all the instructions that are given by government to continue with their education. So parents are advised to help their children go through these things so that they don't lose out.
And I see it's in line with trying to provide this sort of support that you're undertaking the National Prayer
and Fasting Program.
And you're doing it for 3 days.
Sure.
Just because we're vulnerable.
Exactly. That's it.
We need prayer and fasting.
We need it every day. We need it every day, but it has become very, very necessary for all Christians in Ghana to come together. And when I talk of all Christians in Ghana, I'm talking about all the Christian bodies, which is made up of, one, the Christian Council of Ghana, the Ghana Pentecostal Council and Charismatic Churches. Then we have the Ghana National Association of Charismatic Churches. Then we have our brothers, the Catholics, the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference. And then we have some who are not part of any of these groupings. They are also part. Then we have some church organizations like the SU, the Full Gospel Men's Fellowship, we have the GLOW, we have GACO, we have all these people. They are all part of this exercise that we are putting forward for the national 3 days fasting and prayer.
And when you congregate, it's all virtual?
It's all virtual.
Okay,
it's all virtual.
So do we have some schedule, maybe morning prayer timelines and
sure.
all that?
Yes. It's virtual, and so wherever you find yourself as a Christian, we are going to provide prayer bulletins, and we are saying that the day is broken into 3 segments. The first session is from 6 to 12, where we'll have a prayer session. Then we have 12 to 3, another prayer session, then 3 to 6. The day is from 6 to 6, the prayer. And the first section is where we want to praise God, we want to thank God, we want to worship God, we want to adore Him, we want to lift Him high, we want to show His sovereignty and His power, and to acknowledge Him that He is sovereign, He is powerful, He is Lord, He is everything. All right. And then the second aspect is where we come to confess our sins, and because that is very, very important. That is very, very crucial. So we are confessing the sins of individuals, the sins of the church, the sins of the nations, the sins of governments, the sins of corporations, everywhere, because it is a requirement that before we can approach the throne of grace and to tap into the grace of God, we must make sure that we are clean. Then when all these things are over, the third segment is where we come with a prayer of intercession, and then we intercede, and then we petition the Lord that, oh God, heal our nation, heal our land, heal our world.
Well, are there portals that we can reach when we're doing all these congregations, say midday or early morning or close of fasting and prayer day? Yes,
we are putting up these portals. We are having a press briefing this morning. Just after here, I'm running to the place to make sure that they are putting it up. But we have other means whereby the denominations are reaching their members, and we want them to use them still. There are other individuals who are using national media where they are also preaching and encouraging the people wherever they are to make sure that they are part and parcel of this exercise, which is for the nation.
Right. There are 2 more questions. I'll put it all into one.
Right.
I noticed that we've not had interfaith actions, even though, of course, all the faiths are doing their thing. So are there plans for interfaith actions? And then if you look at the churches, they are vulnerable. Maybe they don't have enough work, or they live by the day, etc. What has been done for them?
Okay. Right. Let me start from the second one. Yeah, where we talk about the vulnerable. The church is made up of the vulnerable, the marginalized, let me put it that way. Because no matter how you see yourself as affluent, you are vulnerable. There is no way that you can say that you are too affluent not to need anything. Right. So the church's mission is for the spirituality as well as the physical wellness of the individual. So in this COVID-19, we were exposed to a lot of these handicaps, and that is where the church came in. The church came in with material support, food support, and making sure that people who did not have enough to eat were supplied with food, even before the government came in, and then asked the faith-based organizations to help in the distribution.
So you were doing that within your membership?
Exactly. Yes. There are some societies, they made sure they went around either with cooked food or the raw food,
packages.
Packages. And they some asked their members to come and pick it. observing the social distancing. And then when we talk of the interfaith, this is where you see all of us coming together. So you see that the Methodists, the Presbyterians, the Assemblies of God, the Catholics, the Charismatics, Action, and all that. And so this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you see all of us coming together to combat this novel coronavirus.
Yeah, and it's a disease that has held no bounds at all. Exactly. Everybody within the demographics of any population is vulnerable. So you've seen even heads of state who have been taken by this.
No respect of
no respect of persons. Yeah. And it's something that Mamavi and I always tend to think about. That look, this has been very much revealing about the structure of our society and how vulnerable we are as a people. It's good that you put that into perspective. But we also will join you right here on the AM show, and the next 3 days we will be with you. Okay?
Thank you.
And we've been having this interaction with the Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo. He is chair, the Christian Council of Ghana, but also the presiding bishop, the Methodist Church of Ghana. And I tell you, if you hear his voice, personally, he reminds me of Reverend Dr. Opunifrimpong. And so that's Reverend Dr. Opunifrimpong one day in the mask. But I'll say to you, Reverend Dr. Opunifrimpong, good morning to you as well, and all the good work you're doing.